Hey everybody, today I'm going to be replacing this mirror on my 2022 Hyundai Tucson SEL. My wife had been backing out of the garage when she clipped the garage door pillar and broke the mirror. Luckily for us, the white piece here did not break, and so I ordered a black mirror with a black cover off of eBay, and I was able to replace the mirror and replace the cover on the new mirror with the old white piece. Bear with me as we go through this. This is my first video, but I noticed that nobody else had done this on the newer body style, and so I wanted to make a video so that it might help somebody else out. First thing we're gonna do is pop off this piece right here, and it is not attached very hard. I'm just gonna bring it right back here and pop it off. It's just being held on by these two plastic pieces there. And we can already see that we have two of the nuts that are holding the mirror on. There's one more behind this larger panel. Just because I don't want this dangling, I'm gonna undo this wiring harness. Just gonna push in this little tab right here with your finger, and it'll pull right out. If you push down on this foam piece right here, you'll see that third nut in there, and I think we can get in there with a small socket wrench. So I had hoped that we wouldn't have to take this bigger panel off, but there's not quite enough space up there. Unless you're more skilled than me, maybe you can get in there. Right down here on the bottom, there is a little indent. If you put a flathead screwdriver up there, warning, you may end up scratching the paint underneath a little bit, but if you have a better tool, a little pry bar, you can pop that off and then just run your finger underneath. It'll take a little bit of force, but you can pop off the panel up the side till you get up here. Now there's just enough flex that we're going to be able to get in there with a socket. So I took off these two nuts and pulled this Phillips screw out. I left this one on because we're going to want to unplug this wiring harness that's behind the door before we take the mirror off. And that's located just right down here. Now, these things are always tricky because every little wiring harness has its own tab that you have to push in, its own style. This one you just push in right there, and this will just unclip right out. And now the mirror is ready to take the rest of the way off. So we'll unscrew that nut. I'm holding the camera with one hand, but typically it's a better idea to keep one hand on the mirror. Just like this, slide right out. Now the new mirror went on the same way that the old one came off. Just slid right into these three holes, and while I was still holding on to it, I put one nut on and tightened it hand tight so that we wouldn't drop our new mirror. Now we're gonna do the same thing in reverse. We're gonna plug it in right here until it clicks. Now go ahead and put on the other two nuts and put that screw and this white piece of plastic back into place. Put the nuts back into place and the screw. I made sure to snug those up because I don't want this new mirror to fall off on the highway. Now that we have the mirror back into place, we will replace that. Now the door panel is going to pop back into place the same way we pulled it off. I'm just going to push on it. Try to make sure that, see, you can actually see it. That little green piece down there, that's going to slide into that hole, and there's a whole bunch of those. So we just need to pop it back in. Make sure that we get all of our pieces. Got everything popped back into place. Now we're going to put this back on. And looks like there's a wire right, so we'll tuck that in. Sorry, I wasn't looking at my camera for a sec. I think we got it. Okay, I turned the signal on. The signal's working good. And when I first pressed the key, the blind spot indicator turned on as well. So I think that we are good to go. Okay, so I ordered a used black mirror off of eBay, but my car came with these white mirrors. I want it to match the other side. Luckily, this didn't break when my wife was backing out of the garage and broke the mirror. So we're going to try to replace this black cover with this white cover. Now the first thing I did is very carefully, I took a flathead screwdriver and I just wedged it in between there just enough to pop that off, just slightly. Now the last thing we want to do is break this thing. So nice and easy, we're going to try to wiggle this off without breaking these internal tabs or the pieces that those internal tabs connect to. Okay, so what I did was I started at the corner like I'd said, and then I kept pressure with my finger on this corner while I took the screwdriver and I just inched it up along the side. When I got to right about here, keeping pressure right on this corner, pulling out, it popped right off. And it does not look like it broke anything. I hope that you have the same experience because this was a bit of an experiment. Now the other piece, we're gonna start basically with it flush down here on the bottom, and it's just gonna slide right up into place, guiding these tabs into place, and clicks right into perfect fit. There we go. Now if you wanna be a little extra cautious, and maybe I would do this if I were to do it again, put a little bit of epoxy or something on those tabs so that it's less likely to pop out in the future. But honestly, this feels pretty secure, and it didn't look like any of my tabs broke pulling the other one off, so I think we are good to go. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video useful. When I fix stuff like this, it's just trial and error, a little bit of an experiment, so I hope that you had a good experience as well. Thanks.